The basking face. For when you're actually giving someone your full attention. For when you completely understand or feel completely understood. For when you finally found another person who hates the same things you do. For when someone is ranting to you about the various social intricacies of their large and messed up family, but with this person, you completely don't mind. For when you're waiting for the other person to finish talking because you already know how you're going to win the argument. For when someone really crossed the line, but instead of blowing up on them now, you'll retaliate with something much, much worse. The dreamy face. For when they've been on your mind all afternoon. For when they tell you you're on their mind, and you want to play it off way cooler than you actually did. For when you're telling a friend about your horrible date, but you will never forget that amazing ice cream stand. For when you're starting to get a nice buzz from your drink, and despite the new yet familiar stresses of daily life, you finally feel like you can just relax for a while. For when you get nostalgic about the good old days, floating peacefully in the womb and being fed through a tube. For when you daydream about the future, where one day you will once again get to be fed through a tube. The unhinged face. For when you buy something the day before it goes on a massive sale. For when there are children all around you and you want to calmly express that you wish there were none. For when you want to let your loved ones know that you and your sense of humor are more or less intact, but that the car was not as lucky. For when you thought your complete honesty would be appreciated. For when you're not quite sure how your compliment turned into an all-out war. For when you wish to gently remind someone that you're on your period. For when you shave your delicates indelicately. The optimistic face. For when one day it will be you who mercilessly orders middle schoolers to run laps for 52 minutes in 103-degree weather. For when the sky is so beautiful right now, if you crashed your car staring at it, it all would have been worth it. For when you link a good TED Talk and temporarily feel permanently inspired. For when you link a very obvious hint because your birthday is next week. For when you finally meet your soulmate in a dream. The romantic wink. For when you're not romantic enough with your words alone. For when it's just a little too early for the kiss emoji. For when you love receiving flowers and have always wished there was a socially acceptable way to demand them. For when you have something special planned, and this time you won't forget the deodorant. Or for when it'll come off as creepy unless you add a romantic wink at the end.